Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Yes. As you can see, my main man G's not here with me. He had a death in the family, so please send all your love, all your prayers towards him.
Condolences and love, G. Condolences and love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we make sure we do that. But in his stead, I have a worthy substitute. Got my main man Brian Transform. B, what's good?
What's good, my guy? What's good?
Nothing much, man. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's wait a couple minutes, see if we can get a couple people in the chat. Hopefully, we get some people popping up, and then we can go ahead and kick it. But before we get to that, man, we had some good talk prior to the show popping off, so can't wait to share some of our thoughts with our viewers and listeners. And yeah, we got some good stuff lined up. Gonna talk Patrick Ewing. So normally, in case you didn't know, normally I do a Throwback Thursday segment, but obviously this past Thursday was 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. This past Thursday was 4th of July, so I wasn't able to, I guess I shouldn't say wasn't able to. I didn't do a segment for Throwback Thursday, and we didn't do a show on Wednesday as we often do. Had some different stuff going on, but I'm here tonight, so we're gonna slide that Patrick Ewing in for Throwback Thursday on the first segment, and then we'll go from there, and we will talk we'll talk Paul George and him getting that max. I guess him signing for the max with 76ers, and then we'll talk about Klay Thompson, end of an era, no longer a Splash Brother. I guess he'll always
that's different,
right?
Man.
That's very different. Wild, man. Yeah, so we'll talk about him in a new uniform in Dallas, how that affects the Mavs, what we see, how that affects the Western Conference, how that affects your Lakers.
No, let's not dive into that. It's too soon.
Okay. Oh, we got to talk about it. Right. And we're going to talk about the biggest story in sports, LeBron James and his son, Bronny, who coincidentally made his his summer league debut today. And it didn't go too well, but I'm not.
Yeah, it was bad.
You know what though?
You can tell it was timid. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about it. All that comes into it. That LeBron and Bronny thing, that's going to be a serious topic. We got some good stuff there to really get into.
All season.
Yeah, man. So before we get started, let me ask you, bro. I see you got a hat on, says Lakers, and it says champion. So is that your in-season tournament champion?
You need me to zoom in a little bit?
That's your in-season tournament championship?
Nah.
I'm saying y'all hanging banners for that. So I'm just saying.
Hey man, so we're just promoting what the NBA is giving us.
Oh, that's what
the
it is.
NBA wanted to create something. And the Lakers, man, we just got to be the first to do something. You know what I mean?
Oh, y'all got to be the first to do something.
Yeah, got to be the first one. Like, as long as you hear in-season tournament for the rest of your life, the Lakers got the first one.
You know what? I respect that. I do.
You got the first one.
That was the best answer I ever heard on that BS. That was good. That was good. You know what, though? You're right. And I respect being the first one to something. I do. Because the Celtics are the first one to get to 18 world championships. So, I figured I would, so I totally understand and respect what it is to be to be the first one to do something in NBA history. You know what I'm saying?
It's good, man. You got like 12 of them back when
we're not talking about all that, man. We're not talking about any of that.
Got it. I got you, brother.
Hey man, look, somebody had to set the tone for the NBA and what it would become and where it would go, and that's us. Okay. So I'm good with that,
Okay, Bill Russell out here bullying freaking mailmen and stuff like that, and you.
Hey man,
you want to go ahead, clap?
Hey man, I'm just saying. Quick side note. It's funny that you brought up the Bill Russell piece. So many fans and proponents of the modern NBA talk about how much better the athletes are today versus back then, right? And I've always pushed back on that because I think there's elite athletes in any era, right? It's just a function of today's athletes have the benefit of technology, right? Sports medicine, science, sports science, nutrition, all those things, right? You know that as well as anybody, being a trainer like you are. So you know about all the amazing things that are available to modern athletes that weren't available back then. Anyway, I bring that up because you mentioned Bill Russell, and I thought I just wanted to throw it out there. When Bill Russell left college in 1956, he was the number 7 ranked high jumper on earth.
Wow, really?
Yeah. People don't realize Bill Russell was a freak, right? It's just he was a dude whose team didn't necessarily ask him to score that much. Bill Russell was a freak, though.
Wow, like number 7.
Number 7, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So he went to the Olympics for basketball. Matter of fact, him and Jerry West played on the same Olympic team in Sydney, and they won the gold. And he could have, he could have been a track and field guy in the Olympics as well.
At the same time.
I'm trying to tell you.
That would have been legendary.
That would have been legendary. So this whole business of, the athletes back then were, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Was he an outlier? Probably.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you can't tell me that you had more athletes back then that could have made the Olympics team than now.
No, I'll agree with you on that. I'll agree with you on that. Let's take a quick breather right here, and y'all know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. All right. Let's do it, man. So we kind of led into that. The Splash Brothers are no more, and that's crazy, right? I mean, I guess what do they say? All good things must come to an end. I guess they say that. I don't know if I really believe that, but a lot of times we see it. And it's rare that we see a player kind of remain with the team that drafted him through the duration of his career, right? So we see Kobe. Well, I guess he didn't technically get drafted by the Lakers, but y'all get it. Obviously, we saw it a lot more back in the day, right? We saw it a lot more back in the day when players were more, less mobile, but we see it a lot less so now. So yeah, let's get right to it. Klay Thompson, he is no longer a Golden State Warrior, and he has signed with the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, was that $50 million?
50 million?
Yeah, 3 years, 50 mil. Yeah. Average salary of $16,666,667. Which
not a bad contract. That's
not a bad contract at all.
Good contract.
Yeah. So if Dallas can get back what they think they can get back for Klay, that's a bargain basement, because this guy is one of the best shooters of all time. He is a great floor spreader. Obviously he can't defend the way he used to, so he's not the two-way player he was, but he can be a big help for a team that's very Luka-centric and very Kyrie-centric. And as we've seen in certain matchups, obviously Boston, Kyrie can be muffled. I'm not going to say locked up, but he can be muffled. So it's tough. Okay. Sneed says Scottie Pippen to the Blazers, Clyde Drexler to the Rockets. A lot of these guys move eventually. It's just business. No, it absolutely is. I totally get it, and I'm not mad at that. But back in the day, we would see
Patrick Ewing to the
Sonics and then to the Magic.
Yeah,
but that wasn't business. I think the Knicks traded him. So Patrick Ewing had his. Did he?
Yeah, Pat requested to go
to Seattle.
Yeah, he requested.
Maybe he requested out, and that's where he ended up.
Yeah, he requested out from the Knicks. Okay. I'm pretty positive he did.
Okay, because I'm like, I would have assumed that if he had his druthers, he would have stayed in New York and finished out his career. Maybe they probably was trying to give him a bad contract. But anyway, so now we see Klay Thompson is he's no longer a member of the Golden State Warriors. He's been there. He won 4 championships, obviously, as the backcourt mate of Steph Curry, one of the greatest backcourts, if not the greatest, at the very least, offensive backcourt of all time. So yeah, let's man, it's kind of tough. It's something that we never expected that we would be saying or expected to be seeing. Klay Thompson is what's he got the record? 37 points in a quarter, 11 made threes in a playoff game.
4 dribbles.
Right. Yeah, there you go. 60 points. No, I think it was 11 dribbles total. He scored 60 points. He's got 14 made threes in an NBA game. That's also a record. So yeah, I mean,
Game 6 Klay.
Game 6 Klay. Yeah, he's one of them dudes, man. Obviously, he blew out his Achilles, he blew out his knee, and hasn't quite been the same since then. And obviously, he only averaged about 18 a game last year, 39% from three, which is down from his career 41%. I think 43, 42% from the floor. So it wasn't a bad year. Like a lot of guys would kill for that.
A lot, especially shooting 39% from three.
That's right.
39% from three is high. It's still high. And he led the league in free throw percentage.
Yeah, I think he was like 92% from the stripe.
Yeah, 92, not 93. I want to say it was like 93. 92,
yeah, it was pretty,
like 93 or something like that.
Where are we? I had these stats up. Last season he was 92.7% from
I knew it was somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's high.
Yeah.
I think that led the league, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that led the league. Yeah.
So AJ says Klay really has to accept that he himself is not the Klay of old. And no doubt, we all get to that point where you got to accept that it's not the same anymore. But, I think when you see a guy who's a Hall of Fame caliber player, he's an elite athlete, it's very hard for a lot of guys to accept that it's over. We saw it, obviously switching gears, different sport. The great Muhammad Ali, the greatest Muhammad Ali, he had to figure that out. What's my man named? Sugar Ray Leonard had to figure it out. Iron Mike Tyson, a lot of dudes, kind of hang around too long and realize that it's not the same. Well, Floyd can kind of get away with saying
no, Roy.
Oh, Roy. Oh, yeah, Roy Jones Jr. When he was at his best, woo, nobody was seeing that dude.
Buckle up.
Facts. But yeah, a lot of times guys got to realize it's not the same anymore. But Klay, I like this fit. Like I said, I would have preferred originally to see him in Philly, but I like this fit because we saw that the way that Dallas plays the game, a lot of high pick and roll action, that kind of thing. If you have the right type of defense, as we saw the Celtics, and of course not every team has that, but if you have the right type of defense, they can really give you problems. And we saw it. So now you get another legitimate floor spreader, a guy who can really shoot the rock. And we know that Luka is going to attract a lot of defensive attention. We know that Kyrie is going to attract a lot of defensive attention. Klay is a dude who can keep him honest. So what are your thoughts on Klay Thompson and his new home, his landing ground in Dallas? And talk about the money portion. We talked about the business. That's what kind of got me. And real quick, if you haven't already and you're here on YouTube, appreciate you checking in. Make sure you're leaving comments. Let us know where you're coming in from. Give us your thoughts. And also make sure you hit that like and that subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead, B.
Yeah, so you want to talk about the contract first? His current contract?
Yeah, you can talk wherever you want to start. You can talk about the business piece. You can talk about the basketball fit. Wherever you want to start. Go ahead. Okay,
let's start here.
Talk to me.
Klay Thompson is not a Golden State Warrior no more, man.
it's hard to grasp, right?
Yeah, it's until we see it, it's not believable. I feel like he's just going to renege out of the deal and be like, you know what? Nah, let me go back. Let's go back to Golden State. It's honestly going to be a game changer because we used to seeing him. Like I said, he was Steph and Klay, that 1-2 punch, the greatest shooting duo we've ever seen. Both of them shooting 40% from three, snipers at any moment of time. Klay has a skill set where he can play till he's about 40. If you can shoot the rock that good as a spot up shooter, don't have to put the ball on the floor and stuff like that, you're gonna have a job in the NBA for years. You're gonna be able to last a long time. That contract for Dallas is wonderful. All right, and I say this because you need Klay Thompson. What I saw from last year in Boston, them boys couldn't hit a three if they saved their life. They couldn't. It was wide open shots. I'm looking at them hitting the side of the rim, rolling in and out. Klay is a knockdown shooter. He's shown it his entire career. 39%. Y'all could have used that against Boston in the finals. So the attention that Luka demands, where he's driving in that kick out, Kyrie on the dribble penetration with the kick out, and you got Klay over there sitting in the corner or sitting at the top of the key. Oh, it's a bucket. It's a bucket. So I think that's gonna be a huge game changer for him. Yes, he's not the guy he was defensively. And he knows that. We know that. We see it. And I think he needs to come to more grips, like what AJ said earlier. But he's light skinned, man. What you expect light skinned people to do, bro? They got a chip on his shoulder, man. You can't tell a light skinned man that arrogant 4-time champion. What you mean I'm old? You know, I can still put the ball in the basket. So I think it's a great move for Dallas. I know it was speculation for him coming to the Lakers. I wasn't on that bandwagon. I didn't want us getting like older in a sense to where Klay is just, to me, he's on more of a decline defensively. Yes, he would have been great for LeBron James. Pretty much the exact same player as Luka.
You don't need Klay. You got Bronny, right?
Oh my God. Here we go, boy. If this wasn't no podcast, I'm cursing you out.
All right. But no, I think the Lakers offered him 4 years, $80 million.
4 years, $80 million, and then we didn't even have it. We offered him money that we didn't even have. That's how crazy our front office is running business. We offered him money that we didn't even have.
Well, LeBron did say that he was willing to take that pay cut if he could have gotten there. I don't know if that would have happened or not, because LeBron, out of his own mouth said he's never again playing for less than the max. So I don't know if that would have happened.
Again, money we didn't have. So right now we playing with money that we didn't have, man. We're gonna talk about Bronny later, Sneak. Calm it down. Hold your horses. All right, that game today wasn't good. Let the man let him get his feet wet a little bit. He's going to the G League, like I told y'all. I told you he was going to the G League.
We're gonna talk about that.
I definitely did, but we're gonna talk about that later. But no, man, this move for Dallas is a great move. I think so. Because what's that kid name that just left? Tim Hardaway Jr.
Okay, yeah, I think he went to Detroit.
He couldn't do anything. I mean,
he had the one game where he hit the 5 threes.
But last year, Tim Hardaway Jr. The 2 years ago versus this one, that was literally night and day.
Yeah,
that was literally night and day. And I think if you could put Klay in that spot to where he was getting them same looks as Tim was getting, Klay is putting that ball in the basket. That's
knocking him down.
He's a sharpshooter.
Yeah. And again, I think the beautiful thing about Klay in this situation, I probably said it before, but it changes the defensive philosophy going against Dallas. And I think the other thing that I will add is that Klay coming over there, he can bring some of the offensive concepts that Steve Kerr was running.
Absolutely.
And because we know Jason Kidd's a very smart mind, but the big if is if they can get Luka to buy into a little less ball dominance and more ball and body movement, to be able to do that. What up, Kai? Dallas wants Klay to do what he couldn't even do for the Warriors in a contract year. No. See, Kai, I disagree with you here. Let's
not base Klay's career on the very last game. We all saw it. It was horrible. But Klay, 39% from three. Come on now.
That's what I'm saying. I think if Dallas can get Klay to even do what he did last year in said contract year, they're going to be very happy with that, because his ability to affect the way that defenses plan and the way that defenses defend you, that is huge. Even if he's not hitting at the same clip that we once saw him hit, you have to be honest when you're dealing with Klay when he's out there. You can't say, he's not the Klay. We ain't going, can't do that.
Oh, please. He'll be back to averaging 20 in no time if you let him do that.
That's right. He'll burn you.
Like we said, Klay doesn't have to have the ball. That's the beauty of putting Klay in that situation. Luka's ball dominant. Kyrie's ball dominant. But one thing they love to do, they love to kick. They love that driving kick. And Klay is the perfect piece to be right there in the pocket. Like, I'm waiting on y'all to let this, pass that ball to me. So I think it's perfect for him. It's perfect. What Golden State had going on, it was a lot. It was a mess. It was a huge mess. You know what I mean? Everything was built around Steph. And, Dre had his incident off and on the court. So Klay was just unhappy with what a lot of things were going on. I think this change of scenery, him putting himself back into that championship caliber team. They were just in the finals. He has a lot of input on that. Like, hey, guys, I've been here 5 times. I've won it 4. I know what I'm doing. No, 6 times. He's been there 6 times. He's been there 6 times.
6 times won 4, yeah.
6 times won 4.
He knows what it takes. Yeah.
I know what it takes at this level. This is how we can do it. So I think him and Jason Kidd, with that knowledge on the sideline, that plug and play, you can instantly plug Klay into that offense, and it can be perfect because he doesn't have the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's perfect.
I think that key there is they've got to get Luka to be able to buy into being less ball dominant, give more effort on defense, and really buy into the ball and body movement. I think that's going to be key. We've seen him move. You can definitely argue that 0 for 10 was him being mentally checked out from the Warriors. I didn't think about that. That might be a fair point. Yeah,
it could be. because they knew it was over. Klay knew it was over. I mean, if you look at the shots that he was shooting, you're like, that's typical. Klay knocks those down,
Right,
but like his
right.
body language, it was just like, you know,
Like,
walking up the
damn,
court, like,
yeah.
this is it, you know, and the writing's on the wall. And I think that, you know, like I said, that whole when he should have got, because he felt he should have got paid 2 years ago. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
When they won that championship, he was like, "Where's my?"
And they paid Draymond first. I think they paid Draymond first.
Paid Dre.
So he's like, "Yo, wait a minute, what?
Where's my bread?" You know what I mean? So I think it was still that spite. Like, man, I know y'all trying to move on. Y'all want to put me on a trade block. Or y'all don't want to play me. So at that point, the end of the year, last game, he's like, man, whatever. You know, Klay is one of them light skins who don't care when stuff don't go his way. He's one of them light skins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you see my man Kyle right here says, give me Luke Kennard cheaper and younger. And to that, I gotta say, bro, you're on drugs. You're on
Luke Kennard?
Yeah, like that's not going. Nah, that's not going.
The one that played for the Clippers?
Yeah, that's not gonna make it. Yeah, no.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and say it on that one. Power of who? Power of Aura?
Power of Aura, yeah. My gut tells me Klay will be open quite often, but will miss open shots he gets to take because he will be charged with hitting important shots when he touched the rock.
That's what he does.
No, I'm thinking he's saying hitting important shots when he doesn't touch the rock for most of the game. That's what I'm thinking that commentary might be. Okay. So that's why I was saying, like, it's important that you get Luka to buy into moving the basketball more, and you get Jason Kidd to implement more of what. And again, Jason Kidd, smart basketball mind. You get him to implement some more, not all of it. Obviously, you can't totally mimic it, but implement some more of what was going on in Golden State offensively. Because if you can mix that stuff, yeah, that's what we thought you said, Dominique. When you can mix that stuff, now you get a better, more fluid offense, and it's not just either, it's not just high pick and roll waiting for the kick from Luka or Kyrie to make something happen with his magic. So I get that, but it's some adjustments are going to have to be made, and hopefully those adjustments can be made. So we will see. We will see. I
think Kidd is going to do it. I think Kidd's a champion. Kid's a champion.
That's true.
He's led the team. Led Dallas to that championship. He knows what to implement. And like I said, with Klay coming there, Klay's been there 6 times.
Yeah.
1/4. You know what I mean? So it's a different feel to when you got championship caliber guys. Kyrie has been there, so he was trying to instill that. But once he got clamped up, it was just like, okay, what you want me to do? Kids, Tim ain't knocking down shots. We're going to this corner. They ain't knocking down shots. What you want us to do? So I think when you add Klay in there, I think we're going to see more of that Dallas 2011 Dallas style of offense with Jason Terry was sitting in that corner on that block knocking down threes. Like, we're going to start seeing some old plays come out of Jason Kidd's book.
So Dominique has a great point here. Luka wouldn't change his game when he has all the ingredients to win a title and all the help he needs. And so that's where we keep getting back to. I agree with you, Brian Transform, that Jason Kidd, he knows what it's about and he can make adjustments, but we know this league is a stars league. And if Luka's not willing to make the adjustments, what are you going to do? You can't make him do it. He's been playing this way his whole life, right? Or at least his whole time in the NBA. You can't make him change it. So we're going to see if he's willing to make that adjustment in himself. He's got to look himself in the mirror and say, damn, I got to change what I'm doing because we're not going to win this way.
I mean, but we say that like
Luka. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Luka's 25.
He's 25, but what's he been in the league 6 years now? 6 years? And he's played this way the whole time.
Yeah,
and you don't
I think you have more, like, as you get older, like same thing with Kyrie. Kyrie was one way. I want to be the man. I want to go somewhere and be the man. But it took him to kind of mature a little bit to be like, okay, maybe I do need to change something.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So I'm not going to put it past Luka that, okay, there's going to be some games where it's like, okay, I'm going to play the Luka way. And kids will be like, okay, now let's try this way.
Right.
Let's see what happens with that team. So I believe Luka can put some of that aside.
We'll see. So Dominique, Jason Kidd was begging him to play defense. We saw how that went. What I will say is, at least one of those games, that was the game they won, right? The blowout game in game 4.
He was putting Paul.
Luka decided he was going to strap up. So we know that he's capable. Obviously, he's never going to be, what is it, Meta Sanford Artest? Is it Ron Artest, Meta World Peace? Meta Sanford Artest. But the point is, we know he's never going to be that. But clearly, if he wants to, he can, and he makes some effort, he can defend at a decent level. Nobody's saying he's going to be the glove or he's going to be Scottie Pippen. We know that. But if he wants to, he can defend at a decent level. And maybe if people get on him enough, and like we heard all through the finals and pretty much through the playoff run, you know, maybe he will hear it and maybe he will make the proper adjustments. So who knows? What we got? As long as Luka plays. Yeah, as long as Luka plays point guard, that's an indication he hasn't changed. He is not a point guard. Well, touche.
Point forward.
Touche. I'm not gonna argue that. He's been privileged since he's a kid.
Nobody's a point guard.
Slovenia or wherever he's from. Yeah, I think he's from Slovenia. The Mavericks allow him to show up to the NBA with a dad bod. Yeah, that dad bod thing would not have worked in Miami. Pat Riley would have been like, "Oh hell nah."
Ooh no. Pat has a foot.
Doesn't get in shape.
I'm pretty sure he got a size
15, 22 or 24. It's a great point. He is only playing point guard for the assist stats and triple doubles. Yeah, man. I heard you talking about that, Mel, with the how so many people are enamored by the triple double, and it is crazy. Oh, you know what? I never even thought about it this way. You can't play a position that you can't defend, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's about right. All the best players. Yeah, that's fair. I never thought about it that way. That's a great point.
What's the point?
That you can't play a position that you can't defend. So he's saying Luka is running point, but he can't defend any of these point guards he got to match up with. You always got to do some cross matchup to try and protect Luka because he can't defend those guys. Won't, whichever. But
that's big body Doncic, man. He ain't guarding no point guard.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Come on, man. I thought it was like Luka, what, 6'8"? About
6'7", 6'8", yeah.
220, 230? Yeah, that man ain't called no point guard.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
No.
All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. That number is going to be 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Love to hear the thoughts that you guys have on Luka Doncic. And well, this was a Klay Thompson topic, but it quickly morphed into Luka Doncic. So anything you got on the Mavs, let's hear your thoughts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he rarely does dunk.
Yeah, I think if he got in better shape, he could be dangerous. I definitely agree with that.
230. That's 6'7" and 230. I knew I was about right.
Oh my gosh. There you go. 230. Wow. He has to average 70 in order for them to win a title.
They got to play defense too.
Crazy. Yeah, they do.
Got to play defense. Somebody got to play defense. You can't have him and Kyrie, and neither one of y'all can guard nobody. Like, come on, man. Somebody got to guard. It's good, Steve.
Bruce, what do you think? The possibility that things could get a little bit chippy in Dallas if they lose some games midseason. Klay isn't hitting shots. Hasn't really helped the defense. You know, so basically what I'm saying is if, let's say the first 10, 20, 30, 40 games, they're like 7th or 8th in the West, you know, and things don't look good and Klay's not making an impact. I mean, do you think that this team could potentially self-implode? I mean, what's the expectations for Klay? I mean, I think that's a lot. I think the vibe is that he's going to come in and knock down, 5, 6, 7 threes a game. I think that's a lot to expect. I don't think that's a fair expectation.
I think that obviously he's expected to bring some shooting. I don't think anyone's expecting that he is going to be the Klay Thompson of the Splash Brothers for a myriad of reasons. But I do think that if it starts going bad soon, because we already see that Luka is a whiner and a complainer. So we may hear some stuff getting reported out of Dallas that he's not happy and he's whining and complaining about what's going on there. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that if things start going bad, you start hearing the rumblings coming out of there. And then it's going to be, whose fault is it? Who are they going to blame it on? Because I'm pretty sure the Dallas as an organization is not going to want to blame it on Luka. So they're going to have to find something. And to your point, the easiest would be, well, we went to the finals last year. We brought in this guy, and all of a sudden things went bad, which I think would kind of be ridiculous based on what Klay has done. You're bringing in a 4-time champ. Go ahead.
If they try to blame this on Klay, then that's a whole other story.
Well, he's got to be playing pretty badly for that to happen, right?
Yeah, and I don't think he will, because, like I said, Klay doesn't have the ball, right? Mm-hmm. His specialization, his entire career. We're not talking about in the last 3 seasons, last 4 seasons, or a chunk of time. He has always been a catch and shooter. It's his only job. His only job. And if you're averaging 5, 6, 3 attempts a game, and you're giving me 2 to 3 of those on an average, that's good. That's all I can ask. Out of $17 million contract, that's good. That's good money. That's good money. You brought him there for shoot. You didn't bring him there to be the elite defender that he was, because he's not. He's about to be 34 in February. That's not going to happen. All right. So if you blame the defense on the 34-year-old when you got the 25-year-old out here letting blow-bys happen, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. All right. You can't sit there and blame that on Klay. All right. But if Klay comes in for $17.5 million a year, and he's giving you 38, 39, 40% from 3, and he's knocking down three threes a game. What more do you want from him? You know what I mean? Yeah. So the contract makes sense. The numbers will make sense. The gameplay makes sense. Now that's on your superstar. Okay, superstar. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? We put the shooter last year in the finals. We missed the shooter. We got you a shooter. All right. You got to eventually start playing defense. So I think you can't. Luka's in no point or shape the way he can blame deflect out on Klay.
Yeah, but remember, this is the modern NBA. Go ahead, Snead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, I think some of this is gonna rest at Jason Kidd's hands. Like, he's gonna have to put together, a system. Well, I don't even know if I want to call it a system. I don't think Klay is going to be part of a system. I think he's going to be a wrinkle. I think he's going to be an element of the offense, momentarily, for moments within certain types of, lineups and things of that nature. He's not going to be a key cog in their offense. Everything is going to be secondary outside of Kyrie and Luka. But I think what they can do is they can make teams play a little bit more team defense.
Yeah.
If they involve Klay more, because right now you're putting your best perimeter defender probably on Kyrie, right, or your second best perimeter defender, depending on your team dynamic, and you're saying make these other guys beat us, right? We'll get people in the paint, we'll put bodies around, we'll rough up Luka. He doesn't like that, all these things. But if they can create wrinkles and some off-ball opportunities, you'll make the other team have to play team defense, and not just play box and one on Luka or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, that's been.
Look at the finals last year
and what he does. Go ahead.
If you look at the finals last year, it would have worked if they would have knocked down shots. Like if you look at it, there was a lot of open shots that the Mavericks were just clanking. They were legit just clanking. I think on some of those runs, and I'm Luka, and I just gave you the last 6. Kyrie coming in and gives you 4, and we kicking it out to the corner 3 times in a row. PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., everybody's just straight clanking. That's when you implement Klay. If Klay's right there, that's a different ball game. That's a different ball game. I guarantee it, because now you have a certified knockdown shooter. That's his job, to knock down those shots.
So here's why I think you're right. Here's why I think you're right. I'm gonna agree with you on this. I was on a podcast discussing the same thing last year when the Boston Celtics moved on from Marcus Smart and brought in Kristaps Porzingis. And I remember having this conversation with this other host, and I said, "Look, bro, I just saw Marcus Smart take a bunch of threes at the end of games, potentially game winners, and he missed all of them. Now you're going to have Kristaps Porzingis coming in, being the third guy, and he will make those shots. He won't miss those shots. You know what I'm saying? So you might be onto something, right? You replace, in a way, those guys that couldn't hit threes. You named Tim Hardaway, PJ Washington, I think you named. Guys, maybe the moment was too big for them. Maybe they're not the prolific shooters, and they don't have the experience and those types of factors, but maybe Klay does, and I'm not saying he's going to be Kristaps Porzingis, but I'm saying similar to how the Celtics upgraded from Marcus Smart being wide open for threes at the end of games and missing versus Kristaps Porzingis being the third guy to be open and take those threes.
Yeah, because that's what Kristaps' specialty is. He's a 7'3" guy who can knock down threes. Marcus Smart has never been a shooter. Never been a shooter.
Marcus Smart was wide open for those shots and missed all of them.
Yeah,
so I replaced him with Kristaps Porzingis. So now I think that's what it is.
Right? Let me push back. Let me push back on that a little bit, Sneed. I don't think that was the replacement. I think Drew Holiday was the replacement.
Drew was that guy,
and that clearly worked out very well for them. But
wait, hold on, why Drew Holiday? Well, Marcus Smart was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, but I believe Drew Holiday's been Defensive Player of the Year as well. Correct?
Well, I don't know if he has, but
I know he's been all-team defense, first team.
Yeah, he's first team. I don't think
Drew Holiday to take last-minute shots.
No, but in the event
Drew Holiday to take threes.
No, I get that, but in the event that he needs to, we know he's better at it offensively. His offensive toolkit we know was superior to Marcus Smart. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't Marcus Smart the guy taking all those shots at the end of games?
Well, listen, he took bad shots.
Ill-advised.
It is what it is. I don't think they were drawing. I don't think they were.
He was open. He was wide open, missing those shots at the end of games. What I'm saying is, if Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum couldn't get their looks, and it had to be someone else to shoot it, better to be Kristaps Porzingis than Marcus Smart.
No, I get that. I was just pushing back on the replacement piece. I get it. Dominique says, I've never seen someone become a better defender. That part of your game only declines from what we've seen historically. Generally, that's true. The only thing I'll say is Luka's only 25. And so if he gets in better shape, that means he's got more energy, theoretically. That means he's going to be able to move better, and he can give more effort on that end without losing as much of his offense. And again, nobody's saying that he's ever going to be Scottie Pippen the glove or Meta Sanford or Artest, but
nowhere near it.
We all know that a big part of defense is effort. So if you give effort, you can become a better defender. You're not locking people up, but or the claw. Nobody's saying he's going to be that, but if he gives effort, he will be a better defender than he is. I fully.
You know what he needs, Bruce? You know what he needs? He needs emotional control. He needs emotional intelligence. We saw some of those games in the finals against the Celtics where he was like, the refs were swallowing their whistles, trying not to foul him out, and he just had to get fouled out.
Right.
It was crazy. He probably committed 9 fouls. You know what I'm saying? And they only called him for 6.
Right.
And because they don't want those guys getting kicked out of the game.
No, that's correct.
They want him in the game. It's the NBA Finals. You're going to lose Luka. He's the best player on the team. But his emotional intelligence, his emotional control was absent in the finals. In fact, the one game where he had those things, they won in a blowout, to show you how important those things are. Those games have a lot of energy in them. Those games have a lot of nuance. They have a lot of these moments that are heavy. There's gravity. He wasn't really good with those moments.
Right.
Hell, he was missing free throws. Those are important moments. So I hope he goes back and he watches the tape and he sits down with Jason Kidd and he watches those moments again and he sees what he could do better, because he can be back in the finals. Luka is an immense talent. He can be back, and that team can be back now with Klay. It does add a new dynamic. They can be back, but they're going to have to be better in those. Well, he's going to have to be better if the Mavericks are going to win the finals.
And I think that's where another point of value for Klay. Klay is a veteran. Klay was one of the best two-way players in the NBA. You know what I mean? So having that veteran leadership to come on a team and now implement that, and like another voice to talk to Luka, like, hey, look, we got to keep something in check. Now, Draymond Green is a different story. They came up together, so they're more like brother. That's a little different. It's like me telling my same age brother, man, bro, you got to chill out, bro. We the same age, man. Stop talking to me like that. You know what I mean? Luka being 25, Klay going on 34, so he has that bigger brother mentality. Like, hey, look, we got to keep that in check. All right.
Yeah, but
this is the tone that we got to kind of set. So I think you can still.
But is Luka gonna want to hear that? Luka's gonna say, "Yo, you coming to my team." Is Luka gonna want to hear that?
That's a good point, Bruce. That's a good point. You don't know how he receives that. A guy just coming in, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to receive the fact that, hey, this is a 4-time champ coming in trying to help us.
Good, Bruce. Remember when Jason Kidd made that timeout call and Luka didn't like it? He didn't receive that well.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
That's his coach.
It is. Wow, Luka's a new Charles. Let me throw this up there. Luka's a new Charles Barkley. That one final appearance he'll get. He won't be in better shape or play as well as he did last season. Fat boys don't keep. Damn. I guess we'll find out.
A lot of people are down on Luka there, Bruce.
Yeah, I see it. Dominique is frying him up.
I get it. I get the point. The comparison is very good. That comparison is very good. Dang.
I personally believe he's got a couple more trips to the finals left in him. He's too young. He's too talented. His upside it's immense. You know, when I watched him play in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I had this conversation with you before, Bruce, but I'm watching him in person. I've never seen someone score so easily. The points come so easy. He gets to whatever spot he wants.
That is interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a pump fake. It's a pivot. It's a layup. It's a fadeaway. It's a teardrop. It's all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And just wherever and whenever he wants. And I noticed, and I think you alluded to this earlier, you said getting his teammates involved.
Yeah.
That's when the team started to win. Because when I watched him play was against the Cavs in Cleveland. They lost on the 65-foot buzzer beater from Max Strus. The Mavericks shouldn't have lost that game. But at the time, I don't think they were playing as a team like they were those last 30 games.
Right.
And then they made a playoff run. I think that's where Luka was really playing really smart ball. He was become a very good facilitator, not just getting assists, but actually making the right plays to the right guys, helping them get easy looks. So the points come easy and he doesn't have to get tired. You know, his usage is very high.
Yeah, it is.
You know, if you can decrease the usage, you can get more out of him at those key moments. He can't be tired at the end of the games. There's no lift on the shot. And he already doesn't have a lot of lift.
Well,
you know what I mean?
No, he definitely doesn't, as Dominique mentioned earlier. But you also need to put down the Bears, and, you know, he need to do better. He's still only 25. Like, it's not like he's old. He's still only 25. But Nick Wonderworker. That's a hell of a comment.
A lot of people question his commitment to the game, his love for the game. And
I
don't believe that he's willing to sacrifice for that longevity. So I was having the conversation with on another podcast. Somebody was saying who could possibly pass LeBron in points. And I said, well, Luka's averaging 35 a game, but we don't know how many seasons he's going to play.
There's no way he can play long enough. Yeah.
But that's the question. It's not because he can't score.
Dominique got to chill.
35 a game.
Yeah, she has no chill going hard, right?
When did LeBron ever average 35 a game? It wasn't that. It was just he was averaging 28, 30 a game for 20 years.
Right.
Is Dominique still cooking?
Dominique is cooking.
Man, she like Chef Bobby Flay out here. She is going in. All right, Sneed, you got anything else for me, brother?
No, that's it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey, Dominique took it to a whole nother level, man.
Yes. Hey, oh, my goodness.
Hey, commenter of the day, man. That man is
facts. Facts. All right, we'll take anybody else wants to call in on this topic before we move on and get to the main event of the night. Going once.
Dominique, you're disqualified. You can't call this. Dominique disqualified. We're not accepting that phone call.
Okay.